everybody, and welcome to Financial Fitness. I'm your host today, Paul Gebhard, with my good friends here, Jim and Dan Vitu of Vitu Financial Services. Welcome back to the program, guys.
Hey, thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
And do not adjust your screen. They are related. Okay?
Father-son team.
Father-son, multi-generations.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that story, guys. How did you end up working with Pops?
Well, so at first, I seemingly might have looked like I was running away from it out of school. No, hope that's not a surprise.
Not a surprise.
Out of school, I actually tried to do my own thing. I went in the corporate world and bounced around there for a little while, and then I kind of realized what I was missing back at home, and kind of got sick of that. And I don't know if it's being raised in an entrepreneur's house, but I kind of wanted that feel to it. And at the time, he needed help, and might still. But then I decided to come over and join him.
That's good stuff. So
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a give in that, actually, huh?
Yeah.
See, so Pops needed a little hand, and you decided to volunteer and get involved. That's
I
good
think he
stuff.
selfishly just wanted me.
Oh, did you?
I did.
So you're a shrewd negotiator? How'd you lure him?
Salary, benefits, the standard stuff we have to do
That's
to lure
definitely not
any
it.
good employee.
Yeah.
Golden parachutes,
Yeah,
all this
good
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah,
Good stuff. See, look, all the great things going on here, and you thought it was just in your household. so look, and that's what we're talking about, because that's what this is about. People say, oh, you're having fun. But guess what? Money should be fun.
Yeah.
Well, we do have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing this for over 30 years, and it is important, obviously, what we're talking about, retirement planning and all these sophisticated things and these things that make people nervous, the taxes and distributions and where's the money coming from and all that. I understand it's scary, but it doesn't have to be as scary, and it can actually be fun if you just enjoy the process and put a little time and a little effort into it. And that's what we try to do, is try to calm some anxieties to sort of take you through a step-by-step process. That's really what I built the practice to do, was not to just show you all the shiny bells and whistles and products and all the stuff that's available. It's to show you, okay, well, here's what we have. Here's where we started accumulating things, and it's in these different accounts, and here's the things we can use to build a successful retirement, and we wrap it in with Social Security and all the other things that make people anxious. But it's all about just giving you a process, a path to follow, so that it doesn't have to be so scary. That was the thought. And Dan has brought me into the 21st century with technology.
Really?
So we use a lot of technology to help us along the path.
Yeah. Those are good.
He's very good at that. I'm not quite as
I think you got
adept at
stuck in
that.
about the 17th century with that path. But
Yeah, probably more.
As long as you don't take your socks off and start counting your toes, Jim, I think your clients are going to be okay.
I'm okay at math, thankfully. Thankfully, so are my clients. Now I got one right.
Who knows? Maybe your clients will do it with you. That's good
Right,
stuff.
right.
No, but this is good stuff. I mean, that's what it's about, guys. I know you to be family people, and that's what it's about. And the importance, I think, that gets lost is to let clients out there know that they're part of your family too.
Well, they really are. I mean, it's often said that you're part of our family, but we really do build long-term relationships with these clients. So we're fiduciaries, so of course we act in the best interest of the client.
Yeah.
But more so, I like to think we're good people, and we do take care of our clients. We like to see them succeed. Obviously, our success is built upon their success, but we like to see them succeed, so giving them an easy-to-follow path is sort of important.
And that's one of the biggest things that we've found with the people that come in, is they're very nervous about who they can trust with this information. And more than anything, they feel like they're being sold.
Yes.
They walk in, they think they need to bring, a bucket of cash with them, or they need to hide their cash, or else we're going to take it. And we look at it more of as a conversation. And if you like us and we like you and we can work well together, then great. Because you should really get along with the people that you're working with and setting this up with.
I like that. I want to talk about something a little bit off the topic, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of it. Sure. But I want to talk about brick and mortar a little bit. I want to talk about small business and why that's a wonderful contrast, in my opinion, to an age where we seem to be pushed more and more online. And it seems to me that a lot of corporate America, in an effort to maximize profits, are really pushing people to do a lot of their own work.
Oh, sure.
through applications, right?
Absolutely. We've gone from a pension-type retirement system where 8 and 10 of us had pensions to now we're a self-directed or self-funded retirement. Most of us have a 401k now or IRAs. So we've gone from a society where you knew at 65 or whatever your retirement date was, we could count on X amount of money a month for the rest of our lives. To now we have a bucket of money, a 401k or an IRA or whatever that retirement plan is, and whatever that bucket of money is, we have to figure out how to make that last the rest of our lives. So the decision subtly and slowly has been pushed over to the individual, and that's not necessarily fair for any of us, but that's how we are running things now. So how do we take that bucket or those buckets and build that attainable, reliable monthly income so we know, because the number one question I always get is, do I have enough?
Yeah.
And to make sure we have enough to get you all the way to whatever your finish line is.
Yes, and I know you just read the minds of most of the viewers out there. That was one of my first questions, Jim, is because I know folks want to know, how do I know if I've got enough?
Right. So it's a process we go through. So the first meeting, I always say, leave the checkbook at home.
Yeah.
There's no money exchanging hands. It's a conversation.
Yeah.
We sit down and we just have a general conversation. You get to know us, we get to know you, and we start talking about, well, what are your goals? What are we trying to do? Are we going to stay in town? Are we going to move closer to the grandkids? You know, what are we trying to do? You know, our 50th anniversary is coming up, and we want to take this cruise, but it's so expensive. Do we have enough money to do that? So we go through the process, and then we sort of start building out longer and longer term goals and desires and objectives, and then we take what you have and we build you that path. It's just about collecting information and then building the path and showing you how we do it. And we're there every step of the way, and the client's with us every step of the way. It isn't just some magic box, you send an email and no, we have constant communication.
It's about a relationship you're talking about.
Totally.
Right, and that's one of the biggest things that we tell people is, and that's much bigger than any kind of financial planning, is the biggest thing we ask them to come to us with are their goals. And, you know, okay, you're going to retire, and then what? You know, what's the next journey you're going to take? And, you know, we can get you all the money that you have, and we can organize that and everything, but what are you going to spend that on? And that's, you know, a much higher question than we can answer for them.
That's good stuff. I wanted to share that because, again, I know a lot of folks out there are asking this one burning question always. It's like, Paul, how do I know I can trust somebody with this information, right? How do I know these things? Because let's be honest, Jim, there's a lot of information out there.
Without question. There's tons
Lots
of
of
information.
information.
I always used to use the analogies when we were back in the day before the COVID, when we were doing lots of seminars. I used to use the analogy back when you were a child, your mom had, depending on your age, had a set of encyclopedias.
Yeah.
And I can remember my mother had it. And it was one of the nicer items we had in our home growing up.
So funny, I
and if you
remember
had a
them,
report due, you would go and get a little bit of information. And if you needed more, you'd go to the library.
Yeah.
Well, now if you go onto the internet and you file anything like you type in like Social Security claiming strategies, you get like 758 million results. So you went from no information to information overkill.
Absolutely.
So our job is to try to be the buffer between, to bring you not too much information and certainly not too little information, but to show you, okay, have we considered this? It's to sort of show you the pitfalls that might interrupt your plan, while also incorporating the whole goal structure. Because let's face it, we've worked, a lot of us, 30, 40, 45 years. You've put in all this blood, sweat, and tears. Now we're ready to retire. And the last thing you want is, I don't have enough, so I have to cut my spending, and how's it going to work? It's no, how do we design some fun into retirement?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I understand you guys have a special offer for the viewer today, Dan. Would you mind sharing that with them?
Yeah, so we're basically going to create that for the first 10 callers, that complimentary retirement plan where we take all of those things, where I'm sure there's a stack of papers this high. We're going to take that stack of papers and organize that for the people that call in and just kind of show them, okay, this is a retirement plan that you can use and that can get you into your golden years.
That's good stuff. Yeah. And again, that's complimentary, right?
Correct.
So
yes.
Completely complimentary. Again, I've seen these things cost as much as $1,500 a session because there's a lot of time and energy that goes into you because it's about your retirement. It's about your future. You're in charge. And it starts by just picking up the phone. That's how you change your life. Make a decision to start. 866-356-8889. We got to take a quick break, but we're going to be right back after these messages.
How confident are you in your current financial plan? Do you know with certainty how the recent market volatility will affect your future hopes and dreams? How much are you paying in taxes? And how much are you losing to unnecessary high fees? You didn't work to save this money so that you could spend your time worried in retirement. Now is the time to take charge of your finances so you can feel confident about your future. Call in during the next 30 minutes of today's show only to set up an absolutely complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review that will result in your own customized written plan. This is a $999 value that we're giving away complimentary to the first 10 people who respond. We'll start with a full-blown analysis of what you already have by running a report to untangle how much you are currently paying in fees, how you're allocated for risk, and what it's costing to work with your current advisor. Next, we'll identify your goals. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you want to go? And who do you hope to go there with? Is your current financial plan set up to get you there without mishap? Let's design a roadmap to create a financial plan you can follow with confidence. Get the piece that so many people are missing from their retirement. Find out how having a written plan can make a difference to your retirement dreams. Call now to schedule your complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review today.
Welcome back to Financial Fitness. I'm your host, Paul Gephardt, with my good friends here, Dan and Jim Vatu. Yes, they are father and son.
Yes,
Good
I'm the father.
well,
in case there's any.
I'm so glad you cleared that up.
In case there's any confusion
I was
out there.
a little bit confused. I was confused, but I'm with you. I wanted to talk about something here because here's something I really just enjoy about the two of you. There's a synergy.
Yeah,
There's a complementary chemistry between the two of you.
I think so.
That I enjoy, and I'm going to share why I think that's important for folks. Everybody who knows me knows I am not a big believer in categories. I think we want to try to define people by boxes way too much.
Sure.
And
Agreed.
we're people. Mm-hmm. So when we talk generations, we're people. What we've gone through, believe it or not, are all very similar things.
Right.
Maybe this generation has the tools that are a little bit more advanced with technology and what have you. Mm-hmm. But in the end, it's about people, right? And so I hear a lot of folks say things, oh, the millennials this or the baby boomers that. But the reality is working together and understanding all of us have something to bring and all of us have something to share, right?
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I mean, there are definitely some skill sets that I bring to the practice
Yep.
that are unique to me and that can help bring him up. And then there are definitely some things that he brings that I just don't have, whether that's through lack of experience or a whole plethora of things that I think we work very well together. It's a lot of fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. And I just wanted to point that out because that is important for everybody to understand.
Well, and it's great from our practice perspective in regards to clients.
Yes.
That Dan brings a different perspective than I do, and we're trying to fight to build the best plan possible for the client.
Yep.
So their interaction with us, and that's so important to have different perspectives.
Yes.
Because you're right. We spend too much of our time saying, oh, well, this is the perfect, this is ABC of how you do it. No, everybody's plan is different. Everybody's goals are different.
Absolutely.
Everybody's aspirations are different. I'm constantly asked, how much money do I need to have to retire? And I'm like, I can't answer that question. Everybody's different. So the idea is to get to know you and what we're trying to accomplish before we can say, oh, well, this might make sense or this makes sense. There isn't a cookie cutter approach that we take to this.
I love that, Jim, and I couldn't agree more.
Right.
Let me jump into a little bit, if you don't mind. Can we talk taxes for a second, right?
You sure?
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. And because, look.
Everybody loves
sure
to
you wanna
talk
do
about
that?
taxes,
We're
right?
going to have a tax party.
changing the channel
right now is flipping over to Sports Center. There we go. That was the end of that.
It's a tax party. Put on your Uncle Sam costume. You're invited. Right?
Yeah.
So no, but seriously now, guys, because let's face it, it's a daunting thing. I mean, it's a little bit intimidating tax
A
model?
little. It's tremendously intimidating.
Because, folks, look, everybody understands there's a cost to run a country. Roads and bridges and all these things take money. Everybody understands that. But the aspect is they want to be able to make sure they've got enough in retirement, that they're not taxed so heavily that they have to go back to work, for Pete's sake.
Right.
Nobody wants to have to do that. Would you help the viewer just understand the importance and what the differences are between tax preparation and actual tax planning?
Sure. So, from a tax preparation point of view, that's looking at last year's income and deductions and those kind of things. And we fill out the 1040, or you have your tax person do the actual accounting for the government. Totally necessary. Don't
You'll go to jail
don't let me minimize how important that part is.
Oh, there's that part. I forgot.
The tax planning question, though, is more of, okay, from a retirement planning perspective, is we look at where the accounts are sort of registered. Are they in a 401k or an IRA, or is it a brokerage account at your local bank? And so maybe the tax ramifications are different if we take money out. So a lot of the practice is helped. What we do is we go through, okay, well, where are the accounts situated? Are these the best situations we can have to prolong our retirement path? Because one of the three things we're always worried about in retirement is tax inefficiency.
Yes.
So do we have the ability to make this plan a little more efficient? It doesn't necessarily have to intersect with what we're doing from the tax preparation, talking to your tax guy or tax person, you definitely need to do that. But from a tax planning, it's what makes the most sense long term. So that's a big piece of the job, and that's a perpetual thing. That isn't something you look at in 2021 and we're good. It's taxes are constantly changing. We just went through the pandemic, or we're going through the pandemic, and we've spent a lot of money as a country. So the logical question that I ask people that come in to see us is, do we think taxes are going to go down or up in the future?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's an overwhelming yes, they're going to go up.
Yeah.
So how do we make sure we're as tax efficient both in the now and in the future as possible?
And the planning part of that is, we know taxes are going to at least change, whether that's up or down, but we know how the game is being played now. So we can make a plan using today's rules and say, okay, this is what taxes are going to look like. And if those change, then we change the plan. But small adjustments, as opposed to we just make one big plan and then we never change it, that can be very catastrophic.
That's a key component that you said there. If we never change it.
And one other point to what Dan makes is lots of us do that. We don't, because taxes are so daunting to think about, we don't have a plan, so we just go with, the year to year to year. We don't make any changes for fear we might screw something up worse, so we just keep paying taxes. If they just keep going up, we don't really make adjustments. And slowly it's a few dollars here, it's a few dollars next year, and the next year, and suddenly over a decade or two, we're talking about real money that it cost our plan or our portfolio that maybe we could have avoided.
I call that a euphoria hangover somewhat.
Right.
Because the bottom line is, think about this. You do that tax strategy and you've made that plan, and sometimes, you all know what I'm talking about, you file it away and think you don't ever have to go back and revisit it.
Right.
It's a good feeling when you finally get that in place.
It sure is, but guess what? It tends to sneak up on you, right? So that's why I wanted to stress that if we change it, because you do got to change it.
You do have to change it. It's going to change. I can tell you that now. And I know we spent part of the first segment of the show talking about how fun we like to make for people.
Yeah.
Okay, for a lot of people, this isn't as much fun.
I understand.
But we still go through the exercises to make sure we're being tax efficient.
That's right, and the hope of improving it, even if it isn't at the time.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean it can't be. That's the goal, is to get you there.
Exactly.
The phones are lining up, guys. The 10 spots. We've only got a few of them left. Would you mind sharing again, Dan, what you guys are offering to viewer today?
Yeah, and in the offer, it sounds kind of way up in the clouds. It's that complimentary retirement plan. And to start, really all that is a conversation of, how can we get you started into your golden years? How can we make sure that there's a plan for you so that when you're in retirement, you're not worried about your money? And that's what we're going to really talk about in that first meeting, what that phone call is for.
I love that. Making sure the golden years stay golden.
Right.
That's the key
This
thing.
whole golden years thing. How about just our retirement years?
I love that. But I think it was an endearing term, not towards you. He was probably referring to me, Jim. Okay.
Well, we'll see.
Well, listen, all you have to do, folks, let's take action in your future. It's complimentary. There's only a few spots left, but other folks have called in. They've made the tough choice to say, you know what? I've got to do something, or at least even get a second opinion. It's complimentary. You've got to pick up the phone, 866-356-8889. We got to take a quick break. We're going to be right back after these messages.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Welcome back to Financial Fitness. I'm your host, Paul Gebhardt. Again, with my guest, Dan and Jim Vitu of Vitu Financial Services. Guys, wonderful segment talking about taxes.
Wasn't that fun?
Talking about taxes.
So fun. That was so fun.
We're having a great
See
time.
how much fun?
It's good stuff. Look, I'm going to bring another topic into the equation here that I know a lot of good people out there want to know about. And when is the right time for a person to take Social Security? When is that?
Now, come on. We just talked about taxes. Now, we can't throw more fun on top and talk about it. We're going to do it. We're going for broke.
We're really going to have fun now.
Party.
Hey, hang on.
It really is fun. So Social Security, everybody understands the concept. We've put into the system in that little thing called our FICA taxes.
Yeah.
So is our employer. And we put money away on our own behalf for a number of years. And now all of a sudden we're maybe 62. And we get a notice thinking, hey, maybe it's time to turn on Social Security. Or we're 65 or 66 in some months, like most of us now. And it's like, okay, well, maybe it's time to turn on Social Security. Well, this is a huge piece for a lot of people's retirement plan. In fact, the typical retired American, it represents about 40% of their monthly take-home pay. So all of a sudden, this Social Security decision is pretty important. So it isn't just I'm 62 and I turn it on, or I'm 66 in 2 months and I turn it on. It's we need to have a strategy, because how we take our distributions from some of our other accounts could affect our Social Security benefits as far as taxation. So it becomes a little bit more of a conversation that you should at least be having. I'm not saying that we have the exact answer for everybody, but you need to know what your possible options are. So whether we take it early or take it at full retirement or even delay Social Security, those are impactful. And we have to at least know what our options are before we just say, well, I'm 62, it's time to turn on the benefit. So it really is a critical component to a retirement plan.
And sometimes that is the answer is, we'll run the analysis and it's, take it at 62. But at least at least you went through the exercise of finding out what's the best for your own plan.
You mentioned impactful. I think that's something to think about there. It really comes down to the individual impact on the rest of a person's financial plan. And that's what you're telling them they have to look at, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Not just Social Security in the box,
right,
but how it affects every other aspect of their plan.
Yeah, I mean,
is that fair enough to say, Dan?
It all intertwines together, whether it's Medicare, whether it's Social Security, whether it's distributions, it's all one big plan. So we just have to look at, if we pull this lever, what happens? If we pull this lever, what's the consequence of that one? And that's just part of the plan that we build for people.
Yeah. I actually read somewhere that Social Security is an annuity. Is that true?
Yes, it's a form of annuity, Brandon.
I said that word.
I know.
I said the annuity word.
Isn't that interesting? That
I know
whole
I'm
annuity
whispering.
comment.
They're going to yell
More
at me.
party talk.
They're going to yell at me because I'm whispering.
I know, now we're getting into annuities. Holy cow, this is party time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but I just find marketing tactics, to be honest with you, they're funny. I mean, that's the best thing I can offer them is they're funny, because most folks, when they market, they don't really offer much of value. They just attack other things.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Reminds us a lot of our political campaigning, right?
Right, yeah.
It's people don't really have resolutions; they just attack the other person, right? And I find that to be true with annuities. I think they really get a crazy bad rap, but there are so many incredible stories on it.
Well, annuities are just one of the tools in a retirement plan.
Yeah.
There's thousands to choose from, and again, sometimes that's a daunting task.
Sure.
There's good features, there's not so good features. It isn't just it's an automatic, okay, every plan has an annuity, or you can never have an annuity again. The way our practice is built, it's a case-by-case basis. I don't go in there with a preconceived notion that, oh my gosh, these guys are going to buy an annuity, or these guys are not going to buy an annuity. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's, does this fit? And it's really just showing them the evidence, like, this might help you in your path.
Yes.
This might help your plan or not. And everybody's on a case-by-case basis. So like mutual funds, we can find things wrong with them, or individual investments, or annuities, or insurance, or any of the plethora of products out there. Those are all, to me, just part of the toolkit.
Yeah.
We have a good analogy. We say you wouldn't dig a ditch with a broom. That doesn't mean that the broom is bad. That just means it's the wrong tool for the job. So the broom is fine.
That analogy.
It's just
I
not
think
used
that was my analogy.
That was good. Did he borrow that? He's paying attention. He's paying attention, Jim.
Sometimes.
You know what my dad said? Son, in a world where you can pay anything, pay attention.
Yeah.
Right?
Good one.
That's a good one. So he was paying attention. Give him credit. You know, believe it or not, we're coming down to the end of the show, and I really, truly enjoyed our time together. I love seeing you guys. You're just such a wonderful asset to your community, and a great partner for folks. But this is what it comes down to. It's all about you. What do you want? When will you be CEO, in charge of your retirement? This is your personal business. And who you hire to be your partner matters. But you got to take advantage of the complimentary offer. 866-356-8889. We want to thank you for being with us today. Take care of yourselves, everybody.